Well, good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, Kevin.
Day 3 of our exciting adventure around Durban and the surrounding area. Cultural and heritage tours we're doing today, arranged, of course, by the City of Choice Travel and Tours.
And up here, PheZulu, and Zulu means high in the hills. So we are literally high in the hills.
That's the Valley of 1,000 Hills.
In the Valley of 1,000 Hills. That's what we see in front of us.
It's so beautiful.
The birds, you can hear the birds in the background. It's perfectly still day today.
You can see forever. Yeah. Let's go see some dancing.
We start today's tour with City of Choice Travel and Tours, about half an hour from Durban. High in the aptly named Valley of 1,000 Hills near Botha's Hill, you'll find our first stop as we explore the beautifully diverse cultures of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. PheZulu Safari Park has a long tradition of celebrating Zulu culture. Not only a safari park where you can take in the beautiful surroundings and wildlife, there is the unforgettable, rhythmic, pulsing, tribal dancing that will take your breath away. The Zulu culture is rich with heritage, and there is a lot to do here. There's also a reptile and crocodile park featuring one very old resident.
We're now in the crocodile enclosure of PheZulu Safari Park, and in front of us here is Junior, the biggest crocodile.
Junior was born in 1905, making him 107 years old this year. There are beautiful handmade local crafts on sale here, and restaurants too. PheZulu Safari Park is a must-see, but it's time for us to head off and explore more of KZN. Leaving Botha's Hill behind, we head deep into the Ananda settlement to the Oceania Institute, a school which opened in 1901 and the historic home of the founder and first president of the ANC, Dr. John Dube.
On our right is his house, where he lived with his wife and children.
And if I'm not mistaken, he died on the 11th of February.
He died on the 11th
and that's
of February
why
1946. And on that day, 11th of February, Parliament sits every year. And Nelson Mandela was released from jail, from prison, on the 11th of February. He chose that date. So it's a very significant day for South Africa.
And if I'm not mistaken, this is where Nelson Mandela cast the very first democratic vote ever in South Africa.
In the school hall, round the corner, and my little side guide who's here, he was there when Nelson Mandela cast the vote.
So rich is this area in history that it's just a short drive to our next destination.
And now we've just come around the corner with Michelle, our tour guide, our lovely tour guide from City of Choice Travel, and we have found ourselves at the Ananda Seminary, which is in the most beautiful grounds. And with me I have Scott Cooper.
Yes, hello, good afternoon. This is the Ananda Seminary, which is a historic all-girls boarding school, particularly for blacks.
Yes.
This school was founded in 1869, so it's this March it will be 143 years old. Currently we have 400 students from grade 8 to grade 12.
Yes.
We have had a 100% pass rate for the last 5 or 6 years in a row.
100% pass rate?
100% every single year, and we have an over 95% bachelor's rate. So we rank with some of the best schools in the country as far as academic achievement. And just last year we had 99 distinctions for our matriculation students. So it is a historic school, but it's also a school that has extremely high academic standards, especially in math and sciences.
It's very easy to forget that the city is just a 30-minute drive from these hills, the Valley of 1,000 Hills. As we drive through this endless, majestic rural landscape, Michelle, our City of Choice tour guide and KZN expert, tells me we're about to come across a hidden gem amongst these hills. Something so big that when it was built in the 1990s, 26 important archaeological sites had to be excavated to protect them. The Ananda Dam. This area, like so many in South Africa, is steeped in history. Archaeological evidence and artifacts dating back to the Stone Age and the Iron Age were all carefully removed to make way for this beautiful 1,463 hectare water source for the city. As if to prove how diverse KwaZulu-Natal is, we then come across the former home of Ghandi at the Phoenix settlement he founded after moving here in 1893 as a legal advisor to a local Indian firm. It was here, we are told, after being appalled at the widespread oppression of Indian immigrants, that he set up the National Indian Congress in 1904. It was in this communal settlement near Durban that Gandhi's notion of non-violent resistance first emerged and then propelled him around the globe. Next on our whistle-stop tour to show you just some of the highlights of the Cultural and Heritage Tour with City of Choice Travel and Tours, we find ourselves back in the city of Durban at a building with a dark history.
We are at the KwaMuhle Museum. Michelle, you bring groups here a lot. Now, what is the KwaMuhle Museum? It looks like a lot of old bad news stored here.
KwaMuhle Museum was the home of the first officers of the Department of Home Affairs, or Native Affairs as they used to call them. People wanting to work in the city, black people, needed to come here first to get permission to do so, and they needed a little pass book. No one could employ. If I wanted to employ someone, I would have to get also permission and get a certificate. This is where, I suppose you could say, the blueprint of apartheid started, and this is where they got their pass. And from here, there was a lot of talking and rumbling, and this is right here where the ANC started.
It is often said that KwaZulu-Natal has the largest Indian community outside of India. We are off now to Chatsworth, another culturally rich community. From Chatsworth Stadium to the local shopping centre, which is said to generate more sales than any other in the country. The beautiful gardens of the Gandhis Centenary Park are a place to still your mind before crossing the road to the temple of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. This beautiful temple took many years to build in the early 1980s and was built by the devotees themselves. First though, it was downstairs for lunch.
We have a huge, delicious dish to share, and please remind me if there's something that I might lose out. There are two different types of biryani, a lovely stir fry.
That's the lentil
soup, beans.
Soya fish curry.
Basically, the personalities you see on the altar, like starting from the top, this is Radha and Krishna.
Yes.
Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead.
Okay.
Radha is his internal potency. That's the energy of God. So when God wants to enjoy himself, he manifests himself as Radharani so he can have a relationship.
Looking back over the day, we barely scratched the surface of KwaZulu-Natal's rich history and culture, but I left knowing so much more about the place I'm fortunate to call home. Look out for more tour videos with City of Choice Travel and Tours on www.cityofchoicetours.co.za.